Welcome back, everyone, to our Making It Fun gameplay series here in NASCAR Heat 3. So our last race was a thrilling victory, something we had to fight very hard to get, and that's the idea of this particular series on the channel, is we want to have to fight for victories. We want to have to fight for top 5s and fight for top 10s and so on. That's the whole idea, and that's certainly what we got in the last race. We did not have the speed to get that victory. We had maybe a top 3 or 4 car on speed, but we used the lap traffic and were able to get through the lap traffic better than the leaders were. So we were able to make the pass and then make it stick at the very end and hold on for the victory. So what that means now, with 2 races to go in the season, we have one at Charlotte and then our next one at Eldora. This is going to make for an interesting time. Now, I had actually already recorded the video for Charlotte, but unfortunately, I had done some things that I shouldn't have done, namely to the performance of our car. So that's why you see us back at the main menu, and you see the option here to sim the race. And if you've been following along, and certainly if you're playing the game yourself, you know that that option only appears after you've already done your work on the car before the race. So again, I had already recorded that, got to the racetrack and started the race, and unfortunately we were way too strong. It was going to be an easy runaway victory, where one of those where we were probably going to lap the entire field. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to show you my mistake. Not that I haven't made it before, because this is at least the second time I've done this. If you take a look in bay number 1, you'll see that we have engine at 85, aero at 82. Both of those are fine. That's what we've been using and having good results with. But you also see the suspension is at 90. Yes, I forgot that I'd already upgraded the suspension the previous race in just sort of getting ahead, and I forgot about that. So I went ahead and did it again. And that car, 85, 82, and 90, is too strong for the short track. We were leading the race. I forget, I was like 15 laps into the race, and I was already out to a huge lead. So I just went ahead and aborted the race, come back to the main menu, because that's not the kind of thing we're interested in here in this series. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to simulate this race. We're already guaranteed a spot in the finals at Eldora based on our victory at Taggart. So we don't have to worry about this race. It was going to be a stress-free race for us anyway. So let's go ahead and simulate that race. Yes, I'm sure. Let's see what kind of finishing we get. And most importantly, let's see what type of... All right, we made it to the finals. Okay, we know that. Thankfully, that wasn't in doubt. Okay, another 15th place finish. All right, so that gives us an idea of what we can expect next year if we don't improve our cars anymore. Okay, so we make a little bit of money. Let's see what kind of Twitter feedback we got.
You're in the Xtreme Dirt Tour Championship. Time to make your dreams come true. Let's go get it.
Some mighty fine. Okay, good. We got good results this time. That is what I was hoping for, because I don't like the fact that we get trashed on Twitter and we simulated a race. That is not fun. So now it is time for Eldora. This is the finale. This is for all the marbles. So what I'm going to do here, as the final race of the season, we're going to go full 100% here. We're going to leave the flags on relaxed yellow. It's been kind of hit or miss. I've seen guys spin out and no yellow come out. I've seen multiple guys spin out with no yellows. And then at the same time, I've seen a car spin out and bring out a yellow. So I'm not sure exactly what triggers that. And so we're going to run 100%. Now, for our purposes here, we're not going to run any stages. We're just going to run a single stage, and we're going to try to run this thing full out. And we're going to see how it goes. Yellows, no yellows, we'll see. But I don't want to run the stages just yet. We're going to save the stages for when we get to the top 3 series. So let's go ahead and save that. Everything is still the same otherwise. And let's go next race. Prepare for this race. And now we only really care about one of these cars, and then we will deal with everything else a little bit later on for next season. Let's adjust our work plan. And we want normal. And I'm going to try to remember, we don't want to put anybody on suspension this time. Leave that alone. Aero, let's go 12. So there we go. This is what I think gives us the best shot at having to run ourselves ragged to get a victory. Sort of like what we did at Taggart. We didn't have the speed, but we had to stick with it the entire race. That's what I want here. And in fact, if we don't win the championship, I'm perfectly fine with that, because it will mean that we had our settings about right. And that's really what you hope for. So what we found out, just sort of summarizing, if you're just joining us here in the series, is that if we get very much above 85 on any of our settings between engine, aero, and suspension, then it starts to get to where we're having easy victories, and we don't want that. So we've backed it down to about 80 to 85 range, and that seems to be working really good to get us some top fives and some chances at some victories if everything goes right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start work on the suspension for next season. Again, we got some work to do on this particular team next season, but I want to save my money for now before we get into upgrading car parts and training our employees. We're going to focus on the truck team first. All right, so there we have it. In bay number 2, you can see our normal chassis that we're going to be using at Eldora is 85, 82, and 83. I'm very excited about this race. We're going to be running 100%, and let's head to Eldora. All right, here we go, folks. The finale at Eldora. We're going to be starting mid-pack. Again, actually toward the back a little bit farther than that, about 15th, I think, 13th or 15th. And this is going to be interesting. 100 laps. We don't know about cautions. We could have some cautions, but of course those are not guaranteed. We'll just have to see how it goes. So you can see we got our work cut out for us to get through the field here. I'm using the exact same setup I did last time here. And no practice once again, so we'll see what we got. Not that the setup is bad, because it's very close to what I posted on the channel. But I did tighten it up some the last time we were here. And now that our car is a little bit better, I probably could have freed it up. And in fact, if I wanted to maximize speed, I would have freed the car up a little bit more and got it back closer to the setup that I released on the channel. But I didn't do that, just to add one more layer of stress to this race. Ouch! That was a big hit that we took there. I think that was Davidson that got us. So I'm treating this race as we need to win it in order to win the championship. That's not necessarily the case, but that's the way I'm treating it. So I'm trying to give these guys plenty of room. I mean, I'm giving them half the track even on the straightaways. Oh! Okay, it would have been nice to know he was there. Wow, okay, that's, yeah, let's just go ahead and bang on me some more. Why not? Wow, okay, that was an interesting lap. All right, back to 9th. And we'll try to work our way back forward from here. But as always, lap traffic is going to determine a lot. and we just got to be able to get through the lap traffic better than these other guys. And so even if we don't have as much speed as them, we're going to have to try to use that strategy to get around them. Because we certainly know that an 8th place finish isn't going to get it done. This might have been one of those tracks where we could have used a 90 on suspension and it not been overpowered. That, of course, I wish that were the case, and hopefully that's the case. Because I would really like to work toward fully upgraded cars in the future in other series. Alright, Davidson has not been giving us any room whatsoever. Even on the straightaways, he's been bumping into us, even though I'm giving him about half the track up there. Ouch! Good gracious! Wow. You certainly can't say I cut him off, that's for sure. Alright, so now the question is, are we into lap traffic already, or is this just a clump of contenders? Looks like we've got at least a few lapped cars in here. Alright, we're up to 7th, at least temporarily, until Davidson gets back to us and can knock us out of the way again. Really? Beating and banging on me again. Somebody is. Got me out of shape there. Car's digging pretty good on the bottom down here, so I feel pretty comfortable that we're getting most of what the car's got in it, if not everything. So this should be a very good test of whether or not this is a strong enough car to have a shot at the victory. It's certainly not looking to be too strong, as we're only running 6th, and we're not in any danger of just blowing guys away in front of us either. We seem to be making up some ground, but not all that quickly. So in other words, everything's going according to plan right now. This is going to be a tough race for us if we're going to try to get a victory. Alright, so we're about a quarter of the way into the race, and we got a little bit of open track here. This is good. Try to find a rhythm, see what kind of speed we've got, all those sorts of things. Alright, I keep looking ahead of us to see the next cars. Are they lap traffic or are they lead lap cars? Because of course I want to move up through the pack. And so far we're up to 6th, but we certainly need a lot more than that. Alright, so far so good. The traffic has been pretty good so far. Certainly not anywhere near as bad as what it was at Taggart. All right, I'm hoping 5th place is at least is in here somewhere in this huge group of cars we're trying to get by. And of course, there's always that looming doubt of, will we get a caution to bunch back up the field? Will we need to pit? You know, oh, holy cow. All right, there's 5th place. Found him. All right, I was wondering where 5th place was. Now I have found him. And he's doing the same thing as me. He's trying to figure out a good way to get through all this traffic. Ouch. Wow, somebody is shoving me out of the way. Okay, I guess we'll do that then. He just appeared, Britain just appeared out of nowhere and decided that the best course of action was just to move me out of the way. All right, so I think at this point we know where we are on speed, and where we are on speed is a back half of the top 10 car. So we're gonna be back to using that strategy to try to get where we need to be, because we certainly don't have the speed right now to get it done. Alright, so far so good. I just wish we had a little bit more speed to make us competitive for the victory, but there was no way to know exactly how good to make the car. So we're going to work this strategy as much as we possibly can to pass as many cars as possible in traffic. Oh, somebody just rammed us again. Alright, so there's another. You can see the comers and goers is starting to take effect. Sometimes the AI just hit the afterburners. Now, that would be fine if this actually had tire wear, but this game doesn't incorporate tire wear. And let me be very clear what I mean by that is, if you've never raced in a racing simulation that had tire wear, then you might be fooled into thinking that this game has some sort of tire wear. It does not. I can assure you it does not have tire wear, because tire wear would be abundant throughout the race. You would see fall off in the lap times, in the handling, and so forth. You just don't see that in this game. I've tested it 1,000 times, hoping each time that I'm going to find some significant tire wear somewhere, and it just never happens. So that's very unfortunate, because tire wear adds so much. But back to my original point, the comers and goers don't mean a whole lot, because there's no reason to really be faster or slower throughout a run. You can run every lap as hard as you want. So, you know, it kind of ruins the effect a little bit when you don't have to deal with tire wear, and you can just run the car extremely hard without having to worry about what's going to happen with the tires. Now, don't get me wrong. At some point, you're going to run out. You know, your tire life percentage is going to hit 0, and the tire will go flat or blow out or whatever. But that's not tire wear. That's, you simply at some point need to put on a new set of tires. It's all about speed when you're talking about tire wear and fall off. How does the handling and how does the speed of the car change? And you just don't see that in this game. I mean, we're 49, almost 50 laps into this race, and my car is handling no different than it did on lap 1. And that certainly would not be the case if we had actual tire wear. All right, somehow we've made it up to 5th through all this traffic. Again, the key is, can we keep that and continue to move forward? Of course, Britain is not part of the championship, but of course he is one more position on the way to the front. So we need to try to get everything we can out of him. All right, so just past halfway now. And we are trying to track down 4th position. Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble with the lap traffic. All right, a little bit of open traffic before we get back into several cars in front of us, who I'm assuming are all lap traffic at this point. As much as I would really like to see 3rd place at some point show up in our display. So no cautions as of yet. And that's important because we may indeed need a caution in order to bunch things up if we're going to have any shot toward the end. But for now, we're just going to plug away as hard as we can every lap. All right, so we made the pass there to get into 4th. But again, can we maintain that and pull away from these guys who are stuck in some lap traffic? Let's hope we can. All right, so some more clean traffic for us. I'm holding off as long as possible before I pull up the leaderboard. At some point I will toward the end of the race if we don't already see the leader in our windshield. But I'm holding off on that because right now it really doesn't matter, because I figure that at least one of our playoff competitors is in the top 3, and that would keep us from winning the championship. So that's all that really matters at this point. But if we get toward the end of the race and it becomes obvious that we're not going to have a chance for the victory, I will at least take a look at it and see how far behind performance-wise we were, because at the end of the day, the fun in this is trying to figure out the best settings to use on the strength of your car. And if I can help you guys do that with this series, that's the goal. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to figure out the best settings to make the AI competitive for race wins and championships and all that kind of thing. It's not fun to go into a championship race and know that you're just going to blow the competition away. That is not fun for me. Oh, look out. How is that not a caution? We got a guy up in the fence and is literally hanging from the fence. Let's see if he's still here for several more laps. No, I don't see him. So they got him out of there. assuming they reset him somewhere. But no caution for that. Ooh, look at that huge gaggle of cars in front of us. That is a mess. Or as DW would say, that's a hornet's nest right there. But hopefully, somewhere in there is the top 3. All right, we got 32 laps to go, so plenty of laps to get done what we need to get done. Woo! Ratner was very aggressive there, cutting down in front of us. Hopefully at some point he's going to give us a little room. All right, there's one of our championship competitors in 13th. I believe that was Ligier. I only got a quick glance at it, but I think that's what it said. All right, I haven't seen 3rd position pop up on my screen just yet, but admittedly, I've been kind of busy over the last few laps, trying to work through these cars. And nope, as we passed what I believe is the last of those cars, I did not see 3rd place, and we're not in 3rd place, so we'll keep going and we'll see what we can find up ahead. We'll keep passing these cars until hopefully at some point they'll be for position again. So at this point, I have sort of given up on a caution. Not that one couldn't come out, but when you've got a guy hanging from the top of the fence and no caution comes out, then that kind of puts a damper on any hopes that you might have realistically of getting a caution. All right, so another big group of cars. And I keep glancing every once in a while at the right side as we're passing some of these guys to see if it brings up, the information to tell us if any of these are for position. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear as though any of those were. Good news for us, though, is we got through there pretty cleanly and without losing a whole lot of speed other than having to change the route that we take around the track. All right, so we'll keep going. We're on lap 80 now, and now I'm going to pull up the leaderboard here in just a second, because now I want to get an idea of where we are, because it looks like this is going to run green the entire way. And we got 20 laps to go. All right, the leader is, wow, look at that. The leader is 13 seconds ahead. And second place is a little under 5 seconds ahead. So yeah, we could have stood to be stronger at this race and still been fine. That's good. That's certainly not the case at all the tracks. All right, by no means am I giving up on this. By no means. I'm going to continue to go just as hard as I can go. And I'll let you guys watch the leaderboard lap to lap to see if we're gaining or losing anything. Right now it seems like we're basically just keeping pace, which is not overly surprising. And if my memory is correct, Evan Brown is not in the Final Four. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he is. So I don't think he's in for the championship, but Michelle Baker Dillon is. if memory serves me correctly. So that is the championship that we're after, I think, is getting ahead of her. And right now we're going the wrong direction to try to chase her down. Looks like she's actually chased down the leader. Maybe they will duke it out for several laps and we can try to catch up a little bit. But yeah, I have no complaints about the handling of the car. Everything is going great. It's not perfect, of course, but that's not what we're looking for anyway. All right, we've gained some on them the last lap or two. That's probably traffic. So we shall see. All right, the one thing, of course, we don't know right now is who's in the lead. Because we know Michelle Baker Dillon is the one we need to pass right now. Because we know she is, or at least I'm about 99% sure that she's in the final four. And I'm about 99% sure that Brown is not. In fact, as I glance up now, it does not show him highlighted. So, okay, so that's correct. I like that. But for us, it really doesn't matter who's in the lead until we're in second. All right, there we go. We saw Ligier again right there, certainly not having the race that he was hoping for here in the finale. All right, we're only a little over 3 seconds out of third place. So we've got a shot there, but we've only got 5 laps to go. I didn't realize we had quite that few. This has flown by for me, this 100 laps. I love long races, but they tend to fly by. And once again, no tire wear. My car is still driving the same it did on lap 1, so that's very depressing overall, even though I fully understand that they're not looking for simulation in this game. It's still depressing me because I'm thinking how close we could be to having a much better product, in my opinion, if they would just include some good tire wear. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of the standings because we know what we need to know. Only a few laps left to go. Final lap. So the final lap of the dirt season, and looks like we're going to spend it alone on the track. All right, so we're going to bring it home with a top 5, but unfortunately, that's not going to be enough for the championship. We needed more if we were going to have a chance to win the championship, so that turned out actually really good. Sure, I would have liked to have had a shot at the championship, but I think it turned out really good because we didn't dominate, and that's the goal. It shows both me as well as you guys. Hopefully you guys can learn some things from this series to help you out in your quest. So CJ Boswell got the victory. Let me let it scroll through one more time so I can see how far ahead he was. Oh yeah, he was way ahead of the rest of the cars. So he had a great race. Still, we're going to come home with in fourth and $38,000. That is not bad at all for a dirt race. So that puts our bank total up over $200,000 now at $205. Our merch payout, most importantly, is now at $14. So that's great. Where did we finish? We finished second. So Michelle Baker Dillon, congratulations to you for winning the championship. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and move through. Let's get these final few screens out of the way. Get these summaries done, and then we'll see what the game has in store for us as we prepare for next season in our future videos. Okay, we completed our contract payout, $5,600. Yes, please. All right, so more really good messages from this race. And here's where we start to get into some of the weird messages that happen when somebody is all the way to being a friend instead of just, one or two notches from it. If anybody so much as touches Neil Pittler on the track, they are going to have to answer to me. Those are the kind of things that you see a lot. Same thing with this next one. You start seeing this a lot when you have a bunch of friends on the track. I know I'm in the presence of greatness. Wow. Okay. All right, so now we've made yet another friend with Daniel Britton with that last reply. And then Henderson sends us a compliment as well. Okay, not bad. Okay, so now that the season is over, it's time to take a look at your contracts and sign with the team for next year. Well, we're going to leave it right here for now. Next video, we'll actually get into season number 2 and how all of this is going to work, because we got a lot of money to spend, and we're going to see what kind of a truck we can start the season with. So that's going to do it for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we continue our Making It Fun gameplay series in NASCAR Heat 3.